How many coffee beans to grind per cup? Like most coffee drinkers, you probably have a go-to ratio of coffee to water that you use every time you make a pot. But what if you want to make a single cup of coffee? The answer, of course, depends on how strong you like your coffee. But you can follow a few general guidelines to get the perfect cup. The different types of coffee beans. There are many different types of coffee beans, and each one produces a unique flavor. The best way to find the perfect coffee bean for your taste is to experiment with different types and blends. When it comes to grinding coffee beans, there is no one-size-fits-all answer. The number of coffee beans you need to grind will depend on your choice of coffee maker and your personal preferences. Using a drip coffee maker, you'll typically need to grind between 2 and 4 tablespoons of coffee beans per cup. If you are using a French press, you'll need to grind slightly more, about 4 to 6 tablespoons per cup. And if you are making espresso, you'll need to chew even more, about 6 to 8 tablespoons per cup. Of course, these are just general guidelines. You may need to adjust the number of coffee beans you grind depending on the strength of the coffee you want or the size of your coffee maker. So don't be afraid to experiment until you find the perfect ratio for your needs. The golden rule is to taste when making a perfect cup of coffee. You can follow general guidelines regarding how many coffee beans to grind per cup. For a regular cup of coffee, you'll want to use about 2 tablespoons, 10 grams of coffee beans. You can increase the beans to 3 tablespoons, 15 grams, for a more robust coffee. And for a weaker cup of coffee, you can decrease the number of beans to 1 tablespoon, 5 grams. Of course, the type of coffee bean will also affect how strong or weak your coffee is. So if you are looking for a full cup of coffee, use darker roast beans. And if you are looking for a more mellow cup of coffee, go for lighter roast beans. At the end of the day, it's all about finding that perfect balance of coffee beans to water that creates your ideal cup of coffee. So experiment and see what works best for you. The best way to grind coffee beans, no matter how you brew your coffee, the first step is always to grind your beans. But how much should you scrape? It depends on a few factors, like the type of bean, the grind size, and the brewing method. You'll want to use about 2 tablespoons of ground coffee for every 6 ounces of water. But if you are using a different brewing method or a different type of bean, you may need to adjust the amount of coffee you use. It's essential to experiment and find the correct ratio of coffee to water for your taste. Start with 2 tablespoons of ground coffee per 6 ounces of water and adjust until you find the perfect strength. How many coffee beans to grind per cup? Coffee is the world's most popular drink, but how much coffee do you drink or make each day? How many beans should I use in a French press? If you are not sure, good thing, we have this neat little video that's going to show you just how easy brewing your morning's cup can be. Preparing coffee at home can be tricky, but don't freak out. Read this blog to find a simple formula for calculating how many coffee beans to grind per cup. What are the top coffee grinders? Coffee grinders are a dime a dozen these days, but which one is the best for your coffee needs? That largely depends on what kind of coffee you like to drink. For example, if you are a lover of French press coffee, you'll want a grinder that can produce a consistent coarse grind. On the other hand, if you prefer espresso, you'll need a grinder that can create a fine effort. To help you sort through all the options, we have rounded up some of the top coffee grinders on the market based on customer reviews and expert opinions. Whether you are looking for a budget-friendly option or a high-end machine, there is bound to be something on this list that's perfect for you. Why you should choose a coffee grinder? There are many reasons to choose a coffee grinder over pre-ground coffee. Grinding your beans gives you more control over the final product, ensuring a fresh, flavorful cup of coffee. Grinders also allow you to customize the grind size to fit your brewing method and preferences. Choosing a hero is a great place to start if you are looking for the perfect cup of coffee. There are many coffee grinders on the market, and choosing the right one can be difficult. However, selecting a hero that will suit your needs is essential. Here are some things to consider when choosing a coffee grinder. Thank you for watching coffeeternal.com/.